A glittering chandelier casts light over Nexus Tower's grand ballroom. Champagne flutes clink as guests toast the newlyweds, except one. Maya Torres, her sleeves rolled up, kneels to blot a spilled glass of red wine. "This isn't your trailer park, Ms. Torres," sneers Jeremy Cox, the groom's best man, smirking as guests laugh. His words hang heavy. Why is she taking this? Her eyes flicker, no anger, just quiet calculation. The camera lingers on her wristwatch, its tiny USB port hidden beneath a cuff. Who is she? And why does the CEO of the tech empire own this venue, jointly with a janitor? The room buzzes with mockery, but the real question simmers beneath the surface. What happens when the least suspecting person holds all the cards? Maya. Torres moves like a shadow through the ballroom's golden haze, silent, unobtrusive, invisible. Guests swirl past her in silk and taffeta, their laughter sharp as crystal. A bridesmaid steps over her cleaning cart without a glance. "Excuse me, janitor," Jeremy Cox drawls, his cufflinks glinting as he lifts a champagne flute from her tray. "Don't forget to mop under the real guests." A few snort. None meet her eyes. She doesn't flinch. Her fingers brush the edge of her wristwatch, a sleek, unremarkable band, save for the faintest seam along its side. A flash cuts through her mind. A dimly lit room, fingers flying over a keyboard, lines of code blooming like wildfire across a screen. Nexus Tower's schematics. The memory vanishes, back to the mockery. The napkin someone tossed onto her cart, scrawled with charity case in smudged ink. Why is she here? Why endure this? A guest whispers, loud enough to be overheard. They say she's been here years. Must have begged for the gig. Another giggles. Or maybe she's just desperate for attention. Maya smiles, not a twitch of her lips, a slow, internal thing. Somewhere a clock ticks. The camera lingers on her face, too still, too calm, as the music swells. Who is this woman? And why does no one see her? Maya Torres stands at the edge of the ballroom, a figure of quiet defiance in her faded blue uniform. Across the room, Jeremy Cox adjusts his tailored tuxedo, laughing with a cluster of developers who sip vintage wine from crystal glasses. The contrast is deliberate, almost cinematic. His polished shoes gleam under the chandelier light. Her scuffed flats are laced with frayed threads. A waiter brushes past her, balancing a tray of oysters Rockefeller, and mutters, "Watch it, Cinderella." She doesn't blink. A flash of memory flickers, a dimly lit server farm, the hum of machines, her hands flying over a keyboard. Lines of code bloom across her mind's eye. Nexus Tower's firewall. The algorithm that launched a billion-dollar empire. The vision fades. Back to the mockery. Jeremy strolls past, trailing a finger along her cart. "You know," he drawls, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. "They say the best way to spot a charity case is the one who never stops proving they belong." A few chuckle. One guest tosses a crumpled napkin onto her cart. Charity case, now scribbled in red ink. Maya's gaze drifts to the security camera overhead. Its red light blinks, once, twice, as if winking. A bridesmaid stumbles into her, spilling Chardonnay down Maya's sleeve. "Oops," she sneers. "Guess you'll have to clean that up, huh?" The room erupts in laughter. Maya finally speaks, softly, without turning. Spills happen. She wipes the wine with a cloth, her wristwatch catching the light. Beneath its surface, a microchip pulses, silent, waiting. The camera lingers on her face. No anger, no tears, just a stillness that unsettles. Somewhere, a violin string snaps mid-note. A guest whispers, "Why's she even here? Doesn't she have a job to do?" Another shrugs. Maybe she's hoping someone will mistake her for a guest. But the truth coils beneath the surface, sharp and coiled. The music swells. The clock ticks. Maya Torres smiles faintly, her eyes fixed on the horizon. What happens when the invisible woman sees everything? A guest snaps a photo of Maya Torres's stained sleeve. A second later, it's posted to the wedding's private Instagram story with the caption, "When charity cases forget their place. Nexus Wedding." The screen flashes, likes pour in. Within minutes, a dozen guests have screenshotted it, reposted it, tagged the bride and groom. Someone edits the image, adding cartoonish rags and a caption, "Janitor Crashers." Jeremy Cox watches it unfold, grinning. He grabs his phone, hits Go Live, and centers the lens on Maya's face. "Hey folks," he says, voice dripping with faux charm. "Meet Maya the maid. She's our resident inspiration story tonight. See, Maya thinks she's one of us. Can't blame her, right? Who wouldn't want to escape that trailer park life?" His followers surge. 200, 500, 200 viewers. Comments. Flood. "She's got nerve. Delete this hanger-on. LMAO at the wristwatch. Rich people cosplay." Maya doesn't look up. She wipes the wine stain with practiced efficiency, her fingers brushing the hidden USB port on her watch. The camera's red light blinks again, steady, unblinking. A waiter joins the fray, leaning close to Maya as he refills her water jug. "You're trending," he mutters, smirking. "Ever been famous before?" Another guest, a stockbroker in a too-tight suit, raises his phone to snap a selfie with Maya in the background, then fakes a gag. "Sorry, didn't mean to ruin your moment," he says. The crowd thickens. A bridesmaid accidentally knocks over a glass of Merlot, letting it drip onto Maya's shirt. "Oops," she says, louder this time. "Guess you'll need to clean up your act, huh?" Laughter erupts. Someone tosses a second napkin onto her cart. This one scrawled with, "Try harder." Maya straightens. For the first time, her eyes lock onto Jeremy's live stream. The camera captures her face, still unreadable. Her lips twitch, not quite a smile. Then it happens. A guest grabs the first napkin, charity case, and tapes it to the back of her uniform. Another follows, slapping "Try harder" beside it. A third sticks a paper crown from the dessert table atop her head. "Queen of the janitors!" someone cackles. The stream's chat explodes. "This is gold! She's playing along?" Maya turns slowly toward the nearest waiter. "Can I borrow a tray?" she asks. He hesitates, then hands her an empty one. She lifts it like a shield, walks past the jeering crowd, and sets it down beside a towering cake. With deliberate precision, she scoops the napkins into a bucket and pours clean water over them. Ink bleeds, words dissolve. The crowd murmurs. Jeremy scowls. "What's wrong, Maya? Can't handle a little fun?" She finally speaks. Quietly, evenly. "Fun's only fun if everyone's laughing." The camera catches the faintest flicker in her eyes, not anger, not fear. Something colder, calculated. Somewhere, the violinist stumbles into a sour note. The chandelier's glow dims for a heartbeat. The stream ends. But the damage is done. The room buzzes with screenshots, shares, DMs. Who is this woman who won't break? And why does the CEO of Nexus Tower owe her a debt no one sees? The ballroom's energy shifts. A ripple of tension cuts through the laughter. The guests, still buzzing from the live stream humiliation, suddenly notice the silence spreading like ink across the marble floor. Grayson Hale has arrived. He strides in, his charcoal suit razor-sharp, his expression unreadable. The CEO of Nexus Tower, tech titan, billionaire, architect of the empire that owns this venue, moves with the quiet authority of a man who commands boardrooms and headlines. The crowd parts instinctively. Jeremy Cox straightens, flashing a grin as if to say, "We're on the same team." Grayson stops beside Maya, his gaze flicking to the napkin crown taped to her uniform. His jaw tightens. For a heartbeat, the room holds its breath. Then he turns to the crowd. "You're making a scene," he says, voice crisp, unyielding. Again, a collective exhale. Relief. He's here to scold her. Maya remains still, her hands folded in front of her, the USB port on her wristwatch catching the light. Grayson steps closer. "Ms. Torres," he says, addressing her directly. "This isn't the first time you've disrupted an event. I've tolerated it. Others haven't." His eyes sweep the room, landing on Jeremy. "Perhaps they're right to question your presence," Jeremy smirks. "Glad someone's finally—" Silence. Grayson's voice cracks like a whip. The room stiffens. He turns back to Maya. "But you didn't come here to clean tonight?" A beat. "You came here because you called this meeting." The words land like a bomb. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Jeremy's face flushes. "What? She's a janitor." Grayson ignores him. From his pocket, he produces a folded document, its edges sealed with a gold insignia. He unfolds it with deliberate precision. "This venue," he announces, "is jointly owned by Nexus Tower and—" He pauses. The silence is deafening. "Cypher." A murmur rises. Cypher, the anonymous co-founder of Nexus Tower, the legend who vanished a decade ago, leaving behind the code that launched the company's empire. Grayson lifts his gaze. "And Cypher," he continues, "is also known as Maya Torres." The room fractures. Jeremy guffaws, nervous, disbelieving. "Get out! You expect us to believe her? That woman is Cypher? The myth? The ghost who built the system we all work on?" He turns to the crowd. "This is a joke, right? She's playing you!" But Grayson is already moving. He places the document on a nearby table. The deed. It's real. The guests cluster around, eyes scanning the legal jargon. Names jump off the page. Nexus Tower, jointly owned by Grayson Hale and Maya Torres. Jeremy recoils. "No way, she's lying. Forged." His voice cracks. Maya finally speaks. Calm, steady. "You knew Cypher built this system. You've been using my code for years, but you never wondered why I left?" She steps forward, her stained uniform now a stark contrast to Grayson's tailored elegance. "You assumed I was gone, dead, or irrelevant. That's the problem with people like you, Jeremy. You only see what you want to see." The room spins. A bridesmaid drops her champagne flute. A developer stumbles backward, muttering, "This can't be real." Grayson watches, impassive. "She didn't just build our empire," he says. "She designed this venue. Every wall, every circuit, every security camera." His eyes lift to the blinking red light overhead. Maya tilts her head. "Including the footage of tonight's entertainment." The crowd freezes. Jeremy's face drains. "You wouldn't. I would." The CEO nods to a technician by the DJ booth. A screen flickers to life. The security feed plays in grainy black and white. Jeremy's live stream, the napkin crown, the Merlot stain, the jeers. The crowd watches themselves, mocking, laughing, complicit. A collective horror settles. Grayson turns to Maya. "Shall we?" She glances at the screen, then at Jeremy. Her voice is soft. Final. "Let's see how much fun everyone's having now." The music has stopped. The chandelier's glow feels colder. Somewhere, a violinist plucks a single, trembling note. What happens when the invisible woman steps into the light, and the world realizes it's been staring at her all along? The screen pulses with grainy footage. The security camera's black and white feed replays the wedding's earlier moments. Jeremy Cox's smug smirk as he live-streamed Maya Torres scrubbing the Merlot stain. His voice echoes through the ballroom's speakers, louder now, clearer. "Meet Maya the maid. She's our resident inspiration story tonight. See, Maya thinks she's one of us." Gasps ripple through the crowd. A guest clutches her pearl necklace. Another stumbles back from the screen, muttering, "This can't be." The footage cuts to the moment the napkin crown was taped to Maya's uniform. The camera zooms in on Jeremy's face, his eyes gleaming with cruel amusement as he slaps the paper crown atop her head. "Queen of the janitors!" he cackles on screen. The real Jeremy recoils as if struck, his knuckles whitening around his champagne flute. Maya stands motionless, her stained uniform stark against the ballroom's opulence. Her wristwatch glints, a silent signal. Grayson Hale steps forward, his voice cutting through the stunned silence. "This isn't a fabrication," he says, tapping the screen. "It's a time-stamped, unedited feed. Every insult, every laugh, every moment you thought was private." His gaze lingers on Jeremy. "You assumed the cameras were decorative, that the janitor wouldn't notice the red light blinking." A bridesmaid stammers, We didn't know. We just thought she was..." "A charity case?" Maya interjects, her tone cool. "A joke? A ghost?" She tilts her head toward the screen, where the footage now replays the Merlot spill in slow motion, the deliberate tilt of the glass, the smirk exchanged between guests. "You saw what you wanted to see, and now so does everyone else." The room fractures. A developer whispers, "She recorded us?" Another grabs his phone, frantic. "Is this going viral? Did she post it?" Jeremy surges forward. "You can't." "Just show this," he barks, his voice cracking. "It's private property. You're trespassing on Nexus Tower systems." Maya's lips curve into the faintest smile. "Nexus Tower systems," she repeats, "were built by Cypher." She taps her wristwatch. A second feed floods the screen, a split view of the security footage and the live stream chat. "LMAO at the wristwatch. Rich people cosplay," reads one comment. "This is gold!" screams another. Grayson adds, "And by extension, they belong to her." He unfolds a second document, the server logs, time-stamped to the exact moment Jeremy's live stream began. "She didn't just record your cruelty," he says. "She archived it, encrypted it, shared it with every major news outlet 5 minutes ago." The ballroom erupts. Guests scramble for phones, refreshing feeds. Headlines flash. "Tech elite exposed. Wedding guests mock janitor who owns the venue." A journalist's tweet goes viral. "Meet Cypher, the anonymous genius who built Nexus Tower and just took it back." Jeremy staggers backward. "You wouldn't. You couldn't." "I did," Maya says simply. The screen shifts again. A close-up of the napkin crown, now digitized and enlarged. "Charity case." The words pulse like a heartbeat. "You assumed I was here to beg for scraps," she continues, her voice steady. "But I own the table." A waiter drops his tray. A bridesmaid sinks into a chair. Jeremy's face contorts. "This is a setup! You're lying!" Maya steps closer, her eyes locking onto his. "Lie to yourself all you want, Jeremy, but the cameras never blink." She gestures to the screen, where the footage replays his boastful confession. "You knew Cypher built this system, but never wondered why he vanished?" His knees buckle. Grayson places the deed on the table once more. The guests lean in, their reflections warped by the paper's gold seal. Jointly owned by Grayson Hale and Maya Torres. A stockbroker in a too-tight suit whispers, "She's not just Cypher, she's the founder." Maya's wristwatch buzzes, a final signal. The chandelier's glow dims, then flares. The violinist resumes playing, the melody trembling. The screen fades to black. A single line appears. "Character is how you treat those you believe can do nothing for you." The room is silent. Then a phone rings. Jeremy doesn't answer. He's too busy staring at his own face on the screen, frozen in mid-laugh, the napkin crown perched like a crown of thorns. What happens when the powerless reveal their power? The screen flickers. A final frame lingers. "Character is how you treat those you believe can do nothing for you." The ballroom's air feels thick, suffused with the weight of recorded cruelty. Guests cluster like stunned statues, their reflections warped in the polished marble floor. Jeremy Cox grips the edge of a table, his knuckles white. "This is a setup," he rasps. "You're playing a game." Maya Torres steps forward. Her stained uniform, once a symbol of her invisibility, now seems deliberate, a mask. She tilts her head toward the ceiling. "Game?" she repeats, voice glacial. "No, Jeremy, this is a test." A beat. Grayson Hale stiffens. "Test?" She nods. "You see, I didn't just build the system. I rebuilt you." Her wristwatch buzzes, a sharp mechanical sound. The chandelier's glow dims. The ballroom plunges into near darkness, save for the security camera's red light, blinking like a heartbeat. A second screen flickers to life. The crowd gasps. It's not footage. It's a live feed. A sterile, dimly lit server farm fills the screen. Rows of humming machines, blinking in perfect synchrony. At the center, a figure sits, hooded, fingers dancing over a keyboard. The camera pans. A familiar face, Grayson Hale. But it's not the Grayson standing beside Maya. The man on screen lifts his head. His features are identical to the CEO's, yet sharper, colder. A clone. A ghost. "No," Maya says softly, as if reading the room's panic. "It's him. Just unfiltered." The screen Grayson speaks, his voice echoing unnaturally. "You assumed power was mine," he intones. "But power is a construct, a narrative. And narratives," he adds, "are built by those who control the code." Jeremy stumbles backward. "What the hell is this? Another hologram? A trick?" Maya smiles faintly. "Not a trick. A mirror." She taps her watch again. The screen splits. Half shows the server farm, half replays the wedding footage, Jeremy's live stream, the napkin crown, the Merlot stain. "You mocked me," she continues, "because you believed I was powerless, but power isn't in titles or tuxedos. It's in control." The screen Grayson leans closer to the camera. "Nexus Tower's empire wasn't built on innovation," he says. "It was built on silence, on the assumption that no one would ask who wrote the code, who pulled the strings, who let you think you mattered." The real Grayson's face pales. "You're saying I've been manipulated?" "Oh, Grayson." Maya's voice softens, almost pitying. "You were always the face. I let you believe you were the brain." She gestures to the server farm feed. "This version of you, the one who understands the truth, was always there, waiting for the right moment. The room fractures." A developer whispers, "She created him too?" A bridesmaid clutches her chest. "This can't be real." Maya ignores them. Her eyes lock onto Jeremy. "You asked why I endured this," she says. "Why I played the janitor, the charity case, the joke." She steps closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I wanted to see what you'd do when you thought no one was watching." He recoils. "You set this up, the wedding, the humiliation, every second." She taps her watch. The security footage rewinds, pausing on the Merlot spill. "I chose this venue. I scheduled the event. I ensured you'd be here." Her lips curl. "I even sent the invitation." Jeremy's breath hitches. "Why?" To prove a point. She raises her voice, addressing the room. "You see, I didn't vanish from the tech world. I retired from your arrogance, from the belief that brilliance belongs to those who wear designer suits and quote Silicon Valley mantras." She gestures to the crowd. "You think you're innovators, leaders, but you're just parasites." The screen Grayson nods. "And now," he adds, "the parasite becomes the host." The real Grayson staggers. "You're replacing me?" "Replacing?" Maya tilts her head. "No, you'll stay, but you'll answer to me." She taps her watch again. The server farm's lights flare, casting the screen Grayson in an eerie glow. "You see, I didn't just build the system. I built this, a neural link between us. A way to ensure the CEO of Nexus Tower always remembers who truly owns the code. The crowd recoils. Jeremy surges forward. You're a monster! Maya's smile fades. No, Jeremy. You're the monster. I'm just the one who finally looked in the mirror. The screen flashes. A single line appears. Power isn't taken. It's remembered. The ballroom falls silent. Somewhere, a violin string snaps. What happens when the architect of your world reveals you were never the hero? The ballroom holds its breath. Grayson Hale steps forward, unfolding a second document. This one stamped with the Nexus Tower seal. His voice is steel. Jeremy Cox, he begins. You exploited company code for personal gain, defamed an executive, and orchestrated public humiliation of a co-founder. He pauses. You're terminated. Your contracts revoked. Your access to all Nexus systems has been purged. Jeremy staggers. You can't. I built your algorithms. Grayson doesn't blink. No, you stole them. He turns to the crowd. Lila Chen. A bridesmaid flinches. You tampered with security footage to hide your role in the Merlot accident. Your internship at Nexus is rescinded. Effective immediately. A developer stammers. But I only shared the live stream. I didn't know. Your social media privileges are suspended. Grayson cuts in. And your name will be flagged in every tech hiring database we influence. His eyes sweep the room. This applies to all complicit parties. Your careers here end today. The guests recoil. Some bolt for the exits. Others freeze, staring at the screen's looping footage. The napkin crown, the sneers, the Merlot stain. Maya steps beside Grayson, her stained uniform now a relic of the charade she wore. You thought power was a title, she says, voice quiet but sharp. But power is proof. She taps her wristwatch. The security feed replays Jeremy's boast. She's a charity case. The screen freezes on his face, contorted with glee. He lunges toward her. You set this. I set everything, she replies, including your downfall. Two security guards appear, their badges gleaming. They seize Jeremy's arms. He thrashes, shouting, This is my empire! You can't— It never was, Grayson interrupts. And now, the world knows. See. Guards drag him out, his screams echoing. One by one, the others follow, kicked out, silenced, erased. The remaining guests stare at Maya, their faces hollow. She glances at the screen, now dark. Lesson 1, she murmurs. Never mistake silence for submission. The chandelier's glow brightens. The violinist resumes playing. What happens when the powerless become the architects of justice? The ballroom is quiet now. The crowd has thinned, leaving only those who dared to hope. Maya Torres stands at the center, her stained uniform replaced by a sleek black blazer, hers finally unhidden. Grayson Hale lingers nearby, his authority reshaped by the woman who built his empire. A shy intern steps forward, the same one who once thanked her for fixing a crashed system. You're still here? Maya asks. He nods. I believed in you, she smiles. Belief isn't free. You proved it. From her pocket, she produces a flash drive, a single, unmarked chip. Take this. It contains the original code. Study it, improve it. Don't hoard it. He hesitates. What if I fail? Then you'll fail honestly. She turns to the remaining guests, those who never joined the mockery. The rest of you, she says, remember this. Power isn't in titles. It's in choices, in how you treat the person you think can't fight back. A waiter nods, gripping his tray like a shield. A bridesmaid whispers, We didn't know. You didn't look, Maya replies. Not cruelly. Simply. She walks toward the exit, her heels clicking where the violinist plays a softer melody. Grayson watches, then murmurs, "What now?" She glances back. "Now, we rebuild." The doors close behind her. The camera lingers on the empty space where she stood. What happens when the least expected person becomes the architect of truth? Character is how you treat those you believe can do nothing for you. Maya Torres walked away with dignity, but her message lingers. Power isn't taken, it's remembered. Think of the people in your life, the overlooked, the dismissed. What would you do if no one were watching? Share this story. Let the world remember who truly holds the cards.